We finished our student record manager and main classes. Um, and so we created a Java application that manages student records, right? So you guys can take a look at this. The code will be available in my GitHub. Just so you guys follow along real quick here. Uh, so yeah, and the application should allow adding new student records, deleting records, updating records, and displaying all records sorted by student ID. So sorted by student ID, that essentially means that, let me go to my main here. Yeah, so as you can see here, my student ID is unsorted here, right? We go from 7 to 1 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 2, right? And the idea is that with a TreeMap, it will, using a TreeMap helps to sort out the output that displays. So that means that John Doe will be displayed first, and then Chris Java, and then any white, and so on and so on. So let's run this real quick here to show our program's functionality. And so there we have it, John Doe, right? John Doe, number 1, and ID number 2, Chris Java, and any white, and so on, with a 2.8 and 4.0. Everything looks good. And then we updated our student GPA successfully. Who did we update? We updated student number 4. That is Michael Black with a 3.4 to 2.9. So that means that Michael Black now has a 2.9 GPA. And then we deleted a student successfully. Let me make sure, who do we delete here? That's student number 3. That's Annie White. So Annie White with the 3.6 got deleted. As you can see here, there's an ID here, and after the deletion, after the successful removal of Annie White, there is no more ID number 3 in our application. And then we displayed all our students with a GPA higher than 3.0. And as you can see here, we have 4.0 Chris Java, Michelle Brown 3.0, and Zach Young 3.9. So for any confusion here, even though here it shows more than 3 students with a 3.0, right? We have Annie White, we have Michael Black, Michelle Brown, Zach Young, and Chris Java. Bear in mind that we updated student number 4, which is Michael Black, from 3.4 to 2.9. So that means moving forward, they are no longer a 3.4 student, right? And then we deleted Annie White with a 3.6. So there essentially is 5 minus 2 students with a 3.0, leaving only Chris Java, Michelle Brown, and Zach Young with 3.9. Let me try out here like a 3.5, just to make sure that our program is working properly. And let me clear this real quick here, or as expected. And so back at it, there's only Chris Java and Zach Young with a 3.9, which is higher than 3.5. And just a quick glimpse at it, you'll notice that it's correct. Okay, so I'll change that back. Compile that. So I then worked on the unit test, and so now let's move on to our presentation of test cases. Again, the code will be available in my GitHub. So here are our basic our methods, case tests, and so let's run all this here. Okay, so we have 2 failures and 1 error, right? So these are the 2 failures, and this is an error. So let's take a look at test update student. That is test update student. Okay, let's take a look at that. What do we have? Test update student. Let me put this over here. So test update student, test update student should be this one over here. And what does it say? Cannot invoke student.get GPA because certain value of Java. So the get object is null. Test update. All right, let's take a look at it. That's our get GPA is null. Okay, so our get GPA is null. So we're asserting that hold on. Okay, I know there's already something here. Manager student records, good. Ah. So this is wrong here. This line. Let me see here. Let me add here. There is no name here for the student, so let me add any white here. And let's run again this. Oh wait, what is our update method? Do we take again? Test update. Let me see. Test update. Update student. Oh, okay, so our update method only takes their ID and the GPA. Okay. All right, so let me delete this. Delete this. And let me take a look at it again. So let me change this to a 2 just to make sure. What am I missing here? So test update student. Okay. Sorry, 3.5. Okay, so I see what's wrong here already. I see where I already see what's wrong. Let me just run this real quick here, but I already know what's wrong. Test update student. Okay, I already know what's wrong. So essentially, let me change that back to a 4.0. So we have our Michelle Brown here 3.5, right? With the ID 2.2. The reason why this is wrong, and let me run this again. Test update students. So the reason why this failed is because we expected a. Hold on, let me get the. Sorry. So we updated this student. We want to update our student Michelle Brown, right? With a 3.5, we want to update their student ID and their GPA. So from a student ID 22 to a student ID 23 and GPA 3.5 to 4.0. However, though, we are calling, and let me just compile this real quick here to show the difference. Test update student. So it gives us an error because we are calling the ID number 23. Wait, hold on. I actually had this in. Hold on. Let me take a quick look here. Something. Okay, yeah. See this again. Let me see this again. All right, so even though we are updating student number 23, there is no student number 23. That is actually the correct explanation. So we only have a student with the ID 22. There is no student 23. That is why the get GPA is not is returning null, because there is no student with a 4.0 with an ID of 23. So we're going to change this ID here to 22, meaning we want to update student number 22, student number 22's GPA to 4.0 from 3.5. So let's compile that and let me run that again. We still get this area 22. And let me change this here as well to get 22 here. All right. So this time I know it will pass. Let me run this. And there we have it. And there we have it. So then after this, what else do we have here? Let's run everything. All right, so we have test delete student. Where's test delete student? Here we have it. So what we have, so expected 0 but was 1. Expected 0 but was 1. So we have student number 11 with ID 11, Joe Giono. 2.5, we want to delete. Oh, okay, so this is really basic here. We're deleting again a non-existing student. All right, we're deleting a non-existing student. So, and then we're asserting that there is no student, but there is essentially a student, because student number 11, which is the only student in the records, and that's why when we asserted 0, there is still an existing student. So once I enter the 11, and now I know that we're gonna have this method passing here, delete student. Let me update that again. Test delete student. Let's go that. All right. Expected 0 but was 1. Let me make sure everything is good here. Expected 0 but was 1. Let me make sure our delete method only takes one. Okay, it takes only one parameter or argument. Okay, so let me run that again just to make sure. Test delete student. Where's test delete student? Test delete student. Okay, so here we have it. We passed that now. So we got that passing, and let's see what else do we have. Now we have test add student with existing ID. I must have made some mistakes here while I was doing this, but it's good. It's really good. That way, you know, we know that this test unit class is working properly. So in our test add student with existing ID, test add student with existing ID, we have expected Chris Java, but was Nokia Acon. Nokia. Okay. What is the issue here? Oh yeah, I remember when I was doing this method, I intentionally wrote here to help me remember. And you know, again, this is why, you know, comments are really important. And so I wrote this here, should not allow duplicate ID, meaning I intentionally wrote to students with the same ID so that it would return an error, or it would fail, right? And so we are asserting Chris Java, but the program, the compiler reads first on, you know, the first line reads Nokia Acon with the ID 4. And so let's change, let's update, let's change, I mean, right? Chris Java to an ID number 5. Let's change this to 5 year. And I know it will still fail, but I want to still run it, and I'll explain why later. Let's do this as student. What is this? Test add student with existing ID. All right, so it failed because exactly. So it was 2. I noticed here. So here it was expected 2, but was 3, meaning we are searching that there are only 2 students here in this list, or in this in the records, but there are actually 3. So we can go ahead and change it to 3. And let's compile that, and let's test everything again. And here we have it. We have everything passing.